Afternoon and welcome to the Lavington Sports Ground for the Round 7 clash between the Lavington Panthers and the Albury Tigers. I'm Robbie McKinlay and it is O&M Live Netball for McRae Motors. And once again, joining us is Hannah Davies and Ree Dollahenny. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Robbie, and it's nice for you to join us for the weekend. Gussie's away, so yeah, it's nice to have you on board.
Yeah, well, he's shot up to Brisbane, or Bris Vegas, as it's being referred to on the socials, as I've spotted a few things last night. But yeah, they're away. The sales team are up there, and yeah, doing some good work, no doubt, and having a bit of fun. But I think we're in for a good fun day here too. We, on the back of only 6 days ago down at Corowa, we saw that great game between Yarrawonga and Corowa-Rutherglen, and I thought the standard was outstanding. And today we've got a side that have really shot themselves up the second spot on the ladder, Lavington Panthers, and against a team, Albury Tigers, who, as I said earlier in the day, I think that they may be a chance to still play some of their best netball at the back end of the year.
Yep, and I think for the Tigers girls, they haven't had the best run for this first few games of the season. They've had injury, illness, and just lots of ins and outs. So they're still looking for that core 7, which I think they're as close as possible to today, which is great. Lavington, though, they came out firing last week after the week off and took a really, really comprehensive win over North Albury. So I think they'll be coming in full of gusto and ready to keep that going. I mentioned this morning they had a 21-goal third quarter, which is huge. And we talk about in netball that in a close game, the third quarter is often the championship quarter. So games are won and lost in that third quarter, which, if we think back to Corowa and Yarra last weekend, Corowa did get a good lead in that third quarter. Yarra managed to pin it back, but Corowa had done the hard work. So we'll see what they can do here today.
Hannah, I guess that'd be almost the equivalent of a 10-goal quarter in footy terms, a 21-goal quarter in netball. That's in 15 minutes. That's good going. But what have been your thoughts so far? One of the first time you're looking at the league and you've been calling through the first 6 rounds. Which team in particular has really caught your eye?
My apologies, Robbie. My asthma is so bad today. Look, it's got to be Lavington. They've definitely been a standout the whole competition. Ree, you're a former Lavington player, so I think they've obviously been building for a lot of years.
Yeah, they have, and there's lots of personnel changes. After the 2019 season leading into 2020, there was a lot of personnel changes, which I think has been a real positive for the Lavington girls. They've brought a couple of juniors through the ranks. We see Liv Sanson working in that goal shooting circle with the likes of Maddie Plunkett and newbie to our competition, Emily Stewart. But we've got some really level heads and long-term Lavington Panthers players in Maggie Thompson, Maddie Lloyd and Taylor Ferber out there as well. So a little bit of mix of youth and experience, which is a really good thing. And Linda Robinson coming in to coach these girls this year has been great. She's had plenty of experience here at Lavington herself, out at Brockburham in the A-grade competition there. I think they won 1 or 2 flags while Linda was playing out there as well. So, yeah, I think she's just brought fresh ideas, fresh face as well.
Yeah. And Ree, of course, the Tigers, we spoke earlier on the all-rounders when we're doing the preview of the round of matches in the SSNA Ovens Murray Football Netball League. And I just get this feeling that they've had a lot of disruption with a player availability, and it might not be today, but I don't think it'll be too far away where we're going to see a more settled, and we're really going to get a good gauge on what the Tigers are like and are they a genuine contender for the top 5.
Yep, and I think today is one day that they will want to show that. There's a few ex-Lavy faces in amongst the Tigers girls as well, so a bit of nostalgia there. And just to put out a good showing, I think we're getting close to that halfway mark in the season too. So if they slip another game or game and a half behind the people in 5th, it might be a little bit too hard to peg back come round 14, 15, 16 if they need it. So I think today will be a really good one, particularly coming into the bye next week. If they could get that win, have another week off next week, get that a couple of personnel back that are injured after the bye, then they'll be all guns blazing.
Yep. All right, well, shortly we will have a look at the team list that will be coming through for our viewers. Of course, we're doing all this for McRae Motors, O&M Live Netball, and the first quarter, which won't be too far away, of course, is for our great supporters, Cavalier Homes. Scoreboard check-ups today will be done by Indigo Power. And the time clock, which we've got it beautifully set up, we hope, Ree, is for Jacob Toyota Used Cars. So we've got some wonderful support from a lot of our sponsors. And yeah, the feedback's been fantastic, Ree. This has been my first opportunity to work with you guys doing one of the games ahead of the football call later on this afternoon. But yeah, just enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm loving it. And so far, most of the feedback's been really positive, which is great. And I think it's great for our league. It's great for our sport. Netball's so widely followed, both by males and females everywhere. And I noticed during the week or last week, the Australian men's team, they're putting a call out to name the Aussie men's team.
Oh, really?
So, which is pretty brilliant. So, yeah, it's great. There's not too many men that play in the competition except for mixed indoor here. But, yeah, I know particularly in the capital cities, the men's competition is outstanding, and the speed in which they play netball is phenomenal.
Well, I reckon one of the toughest defenders I've ever played on in any sport was in a mixed competition game out at Holbrook, and it was Lucy Grills, and I thought, no way, if that's what you got to put up with.
And if we talk about dual sports people as well, like what sport can't she do?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the number one female polo cross player, not only in Australia, but you could argue the world. Lucy and brother Jim Grills the same. So, but Hannah's rejoined us, and I'm going to hand over to you girls now to have a bit of a look through both of these sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, guys, I am back. The seasonal change, obviously a Brisbane girl, so used to the heat the whole year round, so it's not doing much for me. Rhea, are we taking a look at the lineups now?
Yes, yeah, we will take a look at the lineup. So we'll have a look at the Lavington Panthers today to start. So coached by Linda Robinson, starting off in the shooting end with goal shooter Maddie Plunkett, goal attack Emily Stewart, wing attack Maddie Lloyd, centre Ange DeMamuel, wing defence Steph Clancy, goal defence Maggie Thompson, goalkeeper Grace Hay, and they'll be serviced by a bench of Olivia Sanson, Taylor Ferbra and Sarah Meredith, which interestingly enough, we spoke to Sarah last time we were here at Lavington, and she gave us I don't think I'll be playing this season after having her beautiful boy Jimmy, but she lined up for B grade last week and had a real impact, and she's just played a couple of quarters in the B grade game before this match. So whether or not we see her take the court, that will be her re-entry into the A-grade competition. So lots of experience coming back in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this Lavington side are going to come out with a real point to make. We've said before that statistically they are that best team in the side. Cora Rutherglen are obviously top of the ladder, but interestingly, Lavington are actually the highest scoring team in the competition with 322 goals for, and they're also the best defensive team with only 205 goals against. So they've got a Maddie Plunkett and Emily Stewart in the attack, and then that Grace Hay in the defence. And Korawa's defence come in really close at second with 206 goals against, and Yarrawonga come in second for goals for with 310. So, Ree, what does that say for the Albury Tigers? If Lavington are scoring hard, they're also defending harder. How can the Tigers get a hold on this game?
Yeah, they're going to have to stop the ball getting to the circle edge. I think the dominance is going to be if they can force the feeders in Maddie Lloyd and Ange DeMamuel to have to feed the ball from away from the circle. It gives them half a second more for that feed to come into Maddie Plunkett in the circle.
Yeah, definitely. And let's take a look at the wider ladder, Ree. So obviously Albury are sitting on 6. So this game for them, if they can build a win here, can they build themselves back up into that top 5?
Yeah, and just while you're gone, Robbie and I were talking about that, and I said I think today is one of those games where they're going to have to really push for the win, and if not for percentage, so as the season progresses, if they are in that battle for the 5th spot, they're there or thereabouts. So really, really important. What I think Sky will be telling them is to convert our centres, have a go at a few things, and really capitalise on any turnovers, and possession netball wins netball. We might have a look at the Albury Tigers lineup now, coached by Sky Hillier. We've got Sarah Jones in goalkeeper, Sarah Mellington in goal defence, Heidi Fisher in wing defence, Kristen Andrews in centre, Emily Rodd in wing attack, goal attack Sky Hillier, and goal shooter Alison Miani. And they are serviced on their bench by Rebecca Olin, who we are, I think, maybe about to see a celebration for her 250th club game, which she was congratulated pre their B grade game, which she did a really stellar effort for. So a massive shout out to Rebecca Olin there. And also on the bench, Sally Capay and Ash Jacobs.
So a really strong side for the Tigers as well. Sarah Mellington in particular, obviously, she's a Bandits basketballer, so it's been learning from the likes of course, Lauren Jackson. So I'm really keen to see what she can put out on court. And, of course, she's coming up against Emily Stewart, who's known for just shooting anywhere in the circle. And then when you've got, an Olivia Sanson on the bench who's just this raring-to-go young gun that they can swap in. And we've seen Lavington play all different kinds of combinations in those games. They tend to push really hard in the first half, and then they give themselves enough of a lead that they can really play around with those combinations and solidify knowing that they can win with any combination, really.
Yeah, and interestingly, you mentioned that matchup between Sarah Mellington and Emily Stewart, because I think that will be a really defining matchup. But as well, Sarah Mellington and Maddie Plunkett have played a lot of basketball together and against each other as well. So it'll be interesting to see if Sarah comes maybe off and comes and plays on the body against Maddie as well, because the height matchup. And I think Sarah Jones has been really instrumental in that defensive end, especially without the height of Rochelle Hill. She's injured at the moment. So, Sarah, the two Sarahs, we'll call them, they've got a really nice combination going.
So, Ree, will we expect to see Sarah Mellington play Bandits tonight?
I think so.
They've got a home game, I believe,
home
down
game.
at
So
Lauren
I believe she's doubling up. So I don't know what the setup is there in terms of game time and things like that, if there's any of that. But really, really great to see. And I expect it to be a nice tight tussle today.
The stars have aligned, haven't they? An early game. 12 o'clock start for the netball and a home game in the basketball. So, it's great to see. And, of course, I'm looking forward, first time this season I'll see Emily Stewart in action, the GWS Fury girl who's come down. And what's been the early impressions of her form? Yeah,
well, when we were here last, she definitely made an impact. I think we gave her our player of the day on that day. Maybe not necessarily for doing really showy things or anything like that, but she nearly played the goal attack, particularly when Maddie was in the goal shooting position behind her. She was nearly like an extra feeder. So she really played that role nice and quietly. And then when the change came with Liv Sanson coming into the goals, they really played a moving circle really nice. So without that holder in there, it just changes up the dynamic as well, which we've said is a credit to Lavington. They're probably one of the teams in the competition that has that at their disposal.
Now, I can't help but notice in that Lavington lineup there, Steph Clancy, who's been in great form. Of course, Steph Clancy, I'm not sure if you're aware, Hannah, but is a member of the Walbundry Show Society, and has I've had a personal invitation from Steph and the Walbundry Show to enter some of my Robbie's honey into the show. First Monday in October. So I'm looking forward to that.
I have heard about this infamous honey Robbie.
Yeah, so
who hasn't?
So I'm looking forward to Steph putting on a good show here. She'll be as busy as a bee out there, I'm sure, Ree.
I think they all will be, and the weather conditions are really firing. I think it'll actually get quite hot. The breezes started to really die down. So it's quite flat, quite nice, and everyone looks quite calm and just
about 2 minutes away, aren't we?
Last little bits and pieces. So
what's the tips here today, Ree? First up for you.
Well, look, I got a little bit of feedback up the hill that I've bet against Tigers repeatedly, but I think Lavington are going to be too strong. But what I really hope is that the Tigers girls can push for 4 quarters and surprise us with a really nice upset here. But I think Lavington will be too strong.
Yeah, I've got to agree, Ree. I think that Lavington have just proved it themselves on court and with their score lines that they really mean business. I think you can't look past the statistic that they're the highest scoring and also the best defenders in the comp. And I don't see that slipping today, particularly for a home game. I think that Albury are really going to have to bring it. I do think that Albury will have to win it in the mid-court, knowing how strong the shooters are and the defenders are. I think if there's anywhere to win it, it's going to be with Kristen Andrews, Heidi Fisher and Emily Rodd in that mid-court.
Yeah, and I agree. And look to see, I think the matchup between Maddie Lloyd and Heidi Fisher could be really, really great. Both really fit, can run all day. Heidi's really agile, great hands over the ball, and Maddie's got a great change of pace as well. So that really instrumental play and through the centres there as well, Kristen and Ange. So it'll be great. And Lavington, they've got their family feud function tonight. So
that family feud.
Sounds like a fun one, and I believe it's their sponsors' day as well.
Up in
the new function room. I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah, it looks
if there's
great
a name to it, but great day. But Tigers may well seal an upset here.
Well, I'm going to go for the Panthers as well too. But I think by around about 8 or 10 goals. But we're not too far away from starting here. Of course, the first quarter action will be for Cavalier Homes. Well, scoreboard checks will be Indigo Power. And on the time clock, that I'll get you to start, Ree, at the appropriate time. Is for Jacob Toyota Used Cars. For now, I'll hand it over to Hannah to get things running. Perfect conditions. We're about to start. Sarah Mabry and Jen Clipple, our 2 umpires.
There we go. So a centre pass from Kristen Andrews from the Tigers. And she goes back to Mellington, to Fisher. So a slower start from them, just working it around. Lots of pressure from the Lavington defenders so far.
And they're probably expecting the Lavington girls to have hands over everything to start. So they'll just be happy to move the ball around and work it in nicely. Grace Hay giving away a little contact there under the post for Alison Miani to net the Tigers' first goal. So first quarter action here thanks to Cavalier Holmes.
And there's DeManuel. She's played more than 200 games in O&M netball. And she'll go over to Stewart. And Stewart's first goal attempt. Can she put one on the board for Lavington? And an early miss there from her. And the contact call against her. So Sarah Jones for the Albury Tigers takes that penalty pass.
And that's a really nice outlet from the Tigers girls there. 2 passes right to that centre of the mid-third. And now they're able to transition nicely, hoping to get the ball right onto that circle edge to feed. A clever feed there around the hands, the long stretch of Grace Hay to get to Alison Miani, who nets another goal. So the Tigers girls will be happy with that, a goal off the Lavington centre pass. And we see Kristen Andrews take the centre pass again.
So it's 2-0 on the scoreboard for Indigo Power, and the Tigers have made a great start.
So Sky Hilliard just works it around with Kristen Andrews. A little layup there.
Gretel Tippett like.
I know.
I love it.
And Sky is a massive fan of the Suncorp Super Netball, so any opportunity she might, we might see some repeat down the other end, but the Lavington girls working it down, but a footwork call there, just a little bit off balance. So I think the ball came behind Emily Stewart, so she wasn't able to balance and give away a good pass. So ball back in the Tigers' hands, looking to transition down to their goal third.
And a wayward pass there from the Tigers. Grace Hay eats that one up, and so they'll look to make that 4-0, sorry. A really strong start from the Panthers, exactly what we were expecting. And there's the hold from Plunkett.
And clever work from Sarah Mellington. She made it look like there was a lot more space for that ball to come in. And then she, what we call hedged the space. So she made it look like there was space and then took the step back to really get her pressure in and just a fingertip on that ball to cause it to go out of court. And a lovely hold over the shot. Unlucky there, a little bit of obstruction on the end. So Maddie Plunkett will have the penalty shot here.
Interesting to go to Maddie Plunkett. Emily Stewart, normally the long-range shooter, but she puts it down and gives it to her goal shooter. An unfortunate miss, though, so...
Faith in her teammates, what we like to see. So the Tigers now back in possession in their goal third, bring the ball down, looking to make it a 4-0 start. And a ripper feed there into Alison Miani. All the space to the baseline, and there we go.
So
4-0.
perfect start here for Cavalier Holmes. First quarter action. Would you believe it? Albury Tigers 4, Lavington Panthers 0, and that's on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
And I think this is the start that they've been looking to have all season. We know that they've got the strike power there. It's just a matter of putting it into play. Emily Rodd, interesting. Wing attack's kind of a new position for her in this Tigers team. Given the input of Sky Hillier and Alison Miani, Emily Rodd's position, perhaps as the goal attackers, morphed into more of that wing attack role. So how they're working that will be really interesting as the game goes on. But so far, she's been really good down in that attacking end. And another wayward pass there by the Lavington Panthers. So the Tigers girls in possession into their goal shooting circle.
And Miani is playing a beautiful role as that holding shooter right now. She's waiting just for the perfect moment. It's really making Grace Hay, who's a really formidable opposition, have to work around her and stay off the body.
So 5 minutes gone on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and it is a 5-0 lead to the Albury Tigers.
And just a bit of miscommunication here in the Lavington Panthers attacking end. So the Tigers getting another opportunity to add another goal onto the scoreboard, and they're just looking... They're looking really, really smooth and just like they know where each other is today. There's no real confusion there at this point. But a great hand in there by Ange DeMamuel causes the turnover, and the Lavington Panthers have the ball in their attacking end in the hands of Tony Wilson medalist, Maddie Lloyd.
So Ange DeManuel into Plunkett. This goal right here, really important for the Panthers.
Oh, and a miss there, but another shot on goal as it's a penalty pass or shot, and that one rebounds as well. So the Tigers on the attack again, halfway in their mid-court. Really good work here from the goal defence in Sarah Mellington and Heidi Fisher to transition that ball, but a little bit flat trying to do a parallel pass there. So a Panthers hand got in the road, and Emily Stewart netting
the
Panthers' first goal. So for the Indigo Power scoreboard, we have a 5-goal lead to the Albury Tigers, Lavington 1.
So the Tigers, ball in hand again. A lot of patience from them so far this game. Just really taking their time to feed it around. They're not worried about forcing it into the circle too early. A great little front cut there from Miani. And a mid-range shot. Her eye just out, so Hay picks up the crumbs.
And that is a really instrumental part of Grace Hay's game, is her rebounding ability. So the Tigers girls won't want to give her too many options because she is so strong under there.
Yep.
Serviced as well by Maggie Thompson. And then if Sarah Meredith is to come in, the three of them, that's a real strength of the Panthers. So the Tigers girls will be looking for accuracy so as to not give the Panthers girls that second opportunity. And we've got a throw in here. Nice try by Sarah Jones to keep the ball alive for the Tigers girls. But the Panthers on the attack, just on the edge of their circle.
And that's
Maddie having a shot then. Maddie, look, you're not allowed to shoot.
That's exactly right. We call that I think it gets called a penalty if the ball goes through the ring. It's happened a couple of times, not too many.
I thought, what have I've missed a rule change here.
No, so it happens every now and again. But the Tigers girls, a really nice transition again. Nice and patient, a couple of passes into Alison Miani, and she has sent the lead, 6 goals to the Albury Tigers, Lavington 1, thanks to the Indigo Power scoreboard.
What a great start here for the Albury Tigers. Cavalier Homes first quarter action. It's a 6-1 lead, would you believe? And we have gone almost 7 minutes on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. It's Hannah Davies and Ree Dollarhenty.
So Fisher goes to Rod, who's looking really comfortable in that wing attack position. We've been saying earlier, but she's normally in that goal attack, but we do find in netball that often goal attacks make arguably the best wing attacks because they know how to feed it. So perhaps in those past weeks where they haven't been performing as well, Rod's been able to kind of take away what she wasn't getting as a feeder, and she's now able to do that herself, and she's really supplying the ball for Miani as we see the Tigers lob another one.
7-1. On the Indigo Power scoreboard, yes, 7-1, Tigers lead.
And what I liked about Rod in that last play too, she'd faded away from the ball, but she came back to it and provided the drive coming to the ball, which is what we want in netball. You don't want the ball going over too many sets of hands. As we see Coach Sky Hillier net another goal. So our first quarter action here, thanks to Cavalier Homes, and the Tigers take a really handy lead, 8-1. Make that 8-2 thanks to Maddie Plunkett. So a nice one of probably Panthers' better passages of play to start this game.
So about halfway through the first quarter on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Question will be, is Albury love to make a lot of changes, and I'm really interested to see with this really strong start from them, if they're going to sit with this, if they're going to reward the athletes and say this is our combo, or if they'll mix it up. I think for Lavington, they've got to mix it up after this.
Yeah, and I think they tried to change it up in defence a little bit a few minutes ago just to stop the run. But I think what the Tigers girls will need to do is to keep what they're doing going, because what's working is working. And if anything, it might just be one positional change for some fresh legs. But I'd say that won't come until after half-time. I think they'll leave it for another quarter.
Well, Reed, there's a great saying in life. If it ain't broke, don't have to fix it.
That's right. So I think they will, look to keep that consistency, which I think due to availability as well has been why some of the changes have come. And we see them spill the ball over the baseline there. So this is going to give the Panthers another opportunity to get one back on the scoreboard, which is reading 8-2 in favour of the Albury Tigers. Transitioned there by Steph Clancy and Ange DeManuel teaming up for a 1-2. Maddie Lloyd, great by her to not try and feed the ball off the circle, but Emily Stewart coming into that third feeder role here in goal attack with the ball at the top of the circle, and a lovely mid-range shot from her. So that brings the Lavington Panthers to 3, Albury 8 on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
First quarter action here for Cavalier Homes. It's Hannah Davies and Ree Dollarhenty. And
Little
Lavington a chance here for another goal. 8 goals to 4 now on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
And a great hold there from Plunkett. Much more patient than in the past.
And what they did well, the Tigers girls, they did double team her, but the pinpoint accuracy of that pass really put Maddie Plunkett under pressure, but she's so strong that she was able to pull that ball in, 2 hands, regather and put the shot up as well. So a replay call here, just trickling off the shoe of Emily Rodd. So they're one of those ones that are just a little bit annoying.
Just get to feel a little bit of momentum's change. She hasn't, Lavington, a bit of a nervous start, have just found a little bit of composure, Hannah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, with a team like Lavington, that they've got it within them. There's never a moment when you doubt that they can put out that performance. What they're doing right now is just missing those 1%ers. They're just making silly errors, and they're self-made errors. They're not necessarily being outplayed, I would argue. I think they're just little ones, a held ball, a replay, an offside, little ones that they can fix up.
And about 5 minutes to go here, thanks to the Jacob Toyota used car's time clock. The ball in Maddie Plunkett's hands, bouncing out off the back of that ring. So the Tigers girls bringing that ball through their mid-court, looking to really get another notch on this lead.
Now, Ree, we've had discussions before about rings and that. Is that a hard ring to shoot at? It bounces off that a fair bit by looking at me. It doesn't look real soft.
Look, I'm no shooter, Robbie, though I'd like to. Every coach that I've had will say that I've always put my hand up. So I don't know. That's one to talk to.
I've asked the wrong person.
Talk to Sarah Moore, Sarah Sanini, about that one, because these goals are her bread and butter. Although from the Albury Tigers goals are hard to shoot in. That's what everyone that I've played with has always said, that they're the annoying ones to shoot in. So whether or not that's changed for Sky Hillier now playing at Tigers, we'll see. But Maddie Plunkett here with the opportunity to bring one of the margin back. So now Lavington leading Lavington trailing 6 goals to Albury Tigers 8, with about 3.5 minutes, I think, here to play. I think our clock might be a little bit behind.
So the Tigers need to push hard now as the clock trails down, but the ball's been toned over yet again. So the Lavington defenders working really hard. I've got to say, I think the defenders for Lavington are keeping them in this quarter right now.
Yeah, and they've just changed their style of defence a little bit. They took a bit of time to see what the Panthers girls were doing and have made those changes and have allowed some turnovers to bring, obviously, their attackers back into the game. But the Tigers, a great little tip and turnover there, feeding the ball, Kristen Andrews, beautifully into Alison Miani, who throws it back out again to Emily Rodd. And I think maybe an offside or contact call there. So maybe Alison led with the wrong arm there.
Last 5 goals of the game, Lavington have scored. 8 goals to 6 it is on the Indigo Power scoreboard. Make that 7. So 8-7. So closing the gap now, Panthers, with a couple of minutes to go in the first quarter, which is brought to you by Cavalier Homes.
And Plunkett home alone. Yeah. That's what we like to see.
Clever work from the Panthers there. So Maddie Lloyd had a really, really hard drive to the pocket, and she actually drew 3 of the Tigers defenders. It forced Sarah Jones out of the circle. She went fishing a little bit, and it left Maddie Plunkett home alone. And credit to Ange DeManuel, I think, with the ball then. She saw Plunkett and just timed that ball to perfection. So Tigers trying to transition that ball, but again turned over at the hands of this Lavington defensive unit, and they're looking to transition that ball. But another, again, fumble, and I think that too was, again, Maddie Lloyd getting the ball a little bit behind the body, so she was unbalanced and unable to give that next pass to the person driving on.
Yeah, 8-all if you've just joined us. It was 8-1, so the last 7 goals of this quarter, brought to you by Cavalier Homes, have come from the Lavington Panthers.
So just over 2 minutes to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. So Lavington looking to use the last few minutes to cement their place in this game.
And a pinpoint accurate pass again in then to Maddie Plunkett. Well done to Sarah Jones. She came around the body and really tried to pressure that pass, but it was just out of reach, which is really nice to see. So Steph Clancy now giving that ball onto Maddie Lloyd, who's able to feed from the edge of the circle. But Maddie Plunkett looking to pass to Emily Stewart to get her a little bit closer to the ring, but Emily Stewart was already past the ball. So Tigers with the opportunity here to capitalise. And another wayward pass there into Miani, just a little bit too much on that. So Grace Hay here with the ball on the Panthers baseline. with
It's
a nice
been a
pass.
game of momentum, Reed.
Yeah, I
We've
think
had-
so, and just getting a little bit scrappy too. So whether that's the defensive pressure on both teams, I think what the Panthers have done well, they've settled into this game and come back, but the Tigers girls as well, they had such a great lead, so they'll be disappointed to have lost that. And we see now
10-8.
Lavington take the lead, 10 goals to 8 here with our first quarter action thanks to Cavalier Holmes.
All right, that is the first quarter action, so it's a 10 goals to 8 lead. And we will take a break. When we come back, it'll be second quarter action here. The Panthers lead the Tigers 10-8.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between. Manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
So Maddie Lloyd into centre, Taylor Fabry into goal defence.
We're about to start second quarter action for Urban Greys on the Cavalier Homes scoreboard. And just repeating, that quarter time score is 10 goals to 8, and it's the Lavington Panthers who have that lead. They did trail though, Reed Dollarhenny, 8 goals to 1, so they picked up 9 goals in a row.
Which is interesting, and then Lavington are the team to make the changes. So we just see a couple of changes here in Maddie Lloyd and Ange DeMamuel have swapped positions. So Maddie Lloyd's gone into the centre and Ange DeMamuel into wing attack, and as well as Taylor Ferber coming on in goal defence. And the Albury Tigers remain unchanged. They had the first centre pass bringing us into this quarter, and the ball is in the hands of Emily Rodd here on the circle edge. A lovely feed into Sky Hillier, who takes a step forward, but cleverly gives that ball off for a pass to be a little bit more balanced for this shot here. Getting Taylor Ferber out of the way with a penalty there and a nice goal to seal. So Albury coming back within 1. So Lavington leading 10 goals to 9 here in our second quarter action, thanks to Urban Greys.
So biggest change for Lavington is probably Olivia Sanson into goal attack. That's not one that you'd usually expect to see, particularly with the experience of Em Stewart. But I think that's exactly what they need. Some fresh movement. You know, Tigers haven't seen her play as much, and she'll hopefully be able to sink this one. And there we go.
She does a nice little settler for her. And I did notice that Emily Stewart's knee was heavily strapped. So whether or not she's got a little bit of a niggle there as well. But a good change up, and good to see them really wanting to use their different attacking end and try something different. So the Tigers girls here still with the ball on their circle edge, and clever play there from Grace Hay to come off her player and attack the ball on the ground. She's really great like that, really versatile, and will come through and get those balls where she can. But the Lavington girls can't quite get it down the other end to convert for her. So the hands in the Tigers, capable hands of Emily Rodd. She swings the ball back to Sarah Mellington, and Sky Hillier now looking as a third feeder there out to Em Rodd, who delivers a pinpoint ball
pass
over both defenders' sets of eyes. So eyes were down, ball came in and finished beautifully. So again, we've got a 1-goal ball game here. The Panthers girls leading 11 goals to 10 for this second quarter action, thanks to Urban Greys.
It's a beautiful pass from Sanson over to Plunkett. And a mid-range shot for her, and sinks it. So Lavington certainly back in this game, brings them to 13 to Albury's 9. So Albury unable to maintain that really strong start they had.
I have a feeling our scoreboard people might have put a goal or 2 for Albury on the Lavington side. So I think it might be 12-11 or 12-10. We'll look to see that fixed up there. But a lovely feed in to Alison Miani, out of reach of the hands of Taylor Ferber and Grace Hay. So the Albury Tigers girls getting another nice goal there, but the Panthers girls looking to be on the attack again.
Yeah, I think the message might have just got through to the scoreboard, but unfortunately, while she's making that adjustment, had a back turn and another goal was scored. So we'll just get that sorted shortly.
It's a tough gig, isn't it?
Reid, what do you think the message was from the Tigers at quarter time after that great start, and then they just really...
to not do exactly what they just did and throw it to the opposition. So I think what Sky will have spoke to them about was that their composure to start the game was phenomenal. They were patient. They took a couple of extra passes to get the ball into the ring, and then they started to just throw a few silly things, but people started running away from the ball.
Yep.
So they're probably shorter along their attack line, except for Alison Miani in the goal shooting position. So they'll look and they'll be wanting their players to come forward to the ball and present forward, because the height of the Panthers' defence can just get their hands in the way of everything. So I think patience will be a big thing, and capitalising on any turnovers.
Geez, the Walbundry Wizard gets a bit physical out there, doesn't she? Steph Clancy.
Look, a non-contact sport as it once was, netball. It's not so non-contact.
Oh, definitely not.
Which is great. Physicality is a really strong component of any netball competition nowadays, and it's great to see. And we see Maddie Plunkett taking quite a long shot there and rebounding, and a great rebound from Sarah Jones, looking for the outlet pass to Kristen Andrews, who gives another beautiful outlet pass out of the hands of a few to Heidi Fisher. But again, the ball turned over by Grace Hay. So I think who we'll be looking at for a 3D Lanes highlight of the day as the game progresses.
12-9 on the Cavaliers scoreboard. It's the lead to Lavington.
So Ange DeMamuel goes to Plunkett. Again, she's taking these mid-range shots. I've got to be honest, Ree, at this point in the game, they're not far enough to be taking those shots. She needs to get closer.
Yeah, I think just that one extra pass, they're looking in, which is great, but probably needs to turn, take an extra pass and get the ball again. Whether or not that's a little bit of a fake to get the defender out of the way first, we'll see. So Sky Hillier now with the ball Mid-range shot there, but a great hands-over pressure by Tay Furborough. So transitioning the ball nicely down to Maddie Lloyd and to Steph Clancy. Liv Sanson feeding beautifully into Maddie Plunkett. So a really quick transition there from the Lavington Panthers brings them to a 3-goal lead here for the Cavalier Home scoreboard, 13 goals to 10.
Player of the day, contender, Ree, no doubt about that. Great transition, quick transition through the court from the back court.
And we've just had a little bit of confusion, a contact call here in the goal third. So the Tigers girls just clarifying where that penalty pass needed to be taken. And Sky Hillier, captain there, netting another nice goal for them. So bringing this lead back to...
Well, I'm not sure about that scoreboard at the moment, Ree. It's showing 11 all before that. So we'll have to get all that sorted pretty soon.
They're confirming that. But, yeah, we've had probably about 5 minutes play here thanks to the Jacob Toyota used car time clock.
Yeah, 5.5 minutes gone. Second quarter action for Urban Greys.
So Albury just working the ball down. Again, using more of that patience from that first quarter that really helped them out. Mellington, she's been excellent for the Tigers so far today. She's in goal defence, but she's really getting down on the transverse, helping direct her team.
And she'll be someone that the Tigers can actually utilize. She's a real utility player because she can play goals. She can play in the midcourt. We know she can play defence, so she's really instrumental in bringing that ball down alongside Heidi Fisher. They work really well together. So the Tigers girls here with the ball in the corner of their goal shooting circle. Great hands over here from Grace Hay and a really clever pass there from Sky Hillier to teammate Alison Miani, who finishes that nice play for the Tigers off with a goal. And they've got their centre here to follow. So Emily Rodd, nice breaking there from her, timing that really well and getting the space in front of Steph Clancy.
13 all on the Cavalier Home scoreboard.
And there is a 3D Lanes highlight of the day. Grace Hay read that exceptionally. Alison Miani, that is a real asset to her. She plays that role really well, and that turn there, but Grace Hay read it beautifully. Two-hand take, though she didn't really grasp it in the end. It was enough for the Panthers girls to get a handle on, bring it down, but the Tigers girls, again, they've forced the turnover and now looking to transition the ball back from defence to their attacking end.
Yeah, the Tigers defenders are certainly on top of the Lavington attackers right now, and it's what's keeping them in this game. They just need to reward it down their own end. Look, you've got Grace Hay, who's leading the circle. She's worked with Maggie Thompson in the first quarter and now Taylor Furborough. She's so young, but she's such a leader in that circle. She really directs the play. And you can see it's been turned over again. So it's really defender versus defender.
And a bit like going back to Corowa and Yarra last weekend, we had that point, I think it was in the third quarter, it was like a game of tennis. It just went back and forth, back and
girls,
forth.
Well, great save by Ree Dollar-Henny there.
We've got to
a true defender, no doubt about you, Ree.
I even used my
I don't know if insurance covers that. If my laptop breaks, does insurance cover a netball?
Talk to Gus McLeod about that.
I'm not sure, but Grace Hay again, really, really dominant down here. And she's a player that we talk about, and she plays off confidence as well. So she's obviously already adjusted in how she's going to play against Alison Miani, which has worked in her favour to grab the turnover. Got another turnover there and a great goal from Liv Sanson. So the Lavington Panthers here taking the lead, 14 goals to 13, thanks to Cavalier Homes.
8 minutes gone on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
And I've got to throw it in there while I can, guys, but Grace has actually been invited for the AFLW draft this season. So we could be seeing her in AFLW colours by August, which is just so exciting.
And if you think about the work rate of her here, imagine her on a footy field, it'd be exceptional. And great that the women are getting the opportunity to do that. And an experience like that is nothing else. And if nothing else, it's a character building experience, a chance to meet new people and even bring probably a couple of new skills to her netball belt as well. And the Tigers...
Exciting for the opposition sides in Ovens Murray netball, I imagine, if she's playing footy instead of netball.
Yeah, and a clever feed there from Emily Rodd, off the circle edge, which is a little bit risky when there's two tall defenders in front, but she timed that really nicely. So Alison Miani keeping the Tigers girls in touch here. We've got an even score, 14 goals apiece here in our second quarter action, thanks to Urban Greys.
So Alison Miani picks up that pass a little bit too far. So Andrews working it around with Sky Hillier. We've seen her a little bit in this goal attack position so far this season, but not consistently. But I do think it's where she looks really comfortable
Yeah, and she will attest to that. She plays a really strong wing attack, as we spoke about, because she's played that goal attack. But, yeah, she's instrumental in the goal attack. And the combination between her and Miani really, really works well. They just know each other's play inside and out. And Alison will be happy to give Sky the reins any chance she gets. So the Tigers girls, again, happy to just pass it around, be patient and get as close to that goaling ring as possible. Finished off there by another nice goal from Sky Hillier, which we see Albury now taking the lead, 16 goals to Lavington Panthers 14, thanks to the Cavalier home scoreboard.
So Lavington,
about 10 minutes.
They've clearly come back in this second quarter for Urban Greys, but Albury Tigers are by no means letting go.
And I think what the Albury girls have really upped is their intensity this quarter. I think in those couple of, probably that last 5 minutes of the first quarter, the intensity dropped off a little bit, particularly as Lavington started to get a run. But the Albury girls have really brought it this quarter and kept the intensity as well. So the hands of Taylor Ferbra here, passing off to Ange DeMamiel and teammate Maddie Lloyd, who feeds it into Plunkett, but off the circle's really risky. She really needs to hit that circle edge to give the best possible feed into Maddie Plunkett, because Sarah Jones positioning herself really well then to distort the vision a little bit. So the Albury Tigers girls back in possession, bringing this ball down the court, looking for people to come forward to them, but I think a little footwork call there. So Ange DeMamiel passing off to Olivia Sanson, a double play there and into the pocket to Maddie Lloyd.
So 11 minutes gone on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and the score is 17-14 on the Cavalier home scoreboard. I'd make that 17-15 as Maddie Plunkett sinks one, and we're doing all this for Urban Greys second quarter action.
Tigers girls looking to just have a nice patient centre pass here. The hands of Steph Clancy not quite big enough in the 3 feet, so Kristen Andrews with the chance to get the ball in just off their circle edge. A nice little look away pass then, beat the eyes of Taylor Ferbra, and again
look away
into Sky Hillier. Oh, and great hands on the circle edge, but another contact call. So the Tigers, the Albury Tigers, will have possession here just on their goal circle edge.
So Andrews looks in, goes to Rod, and a beautiful little triangle there, and a pass back from Hillier just to get herself under the circle. And I think that's what Tigers are doing probably better than Lavington right now, is they're knowing their strengths. They're saying, look, we're probably not going to get that long-range shot. What we can do is we can move it around, we can use our attacking players and get it close to where we're comfortable and sink it.
And that's one of Sky Hillier's real strengths, is that she knows where her defender is. So she's really great at the turn-away pass to get herself closer to the ring. So she times it really, really well and has enabled her to be in that better, higher percentage range shot for herself. So the Panthers girls, again, a little mishap there, but a great defensive effort from Ange DeMamiel to keep that ball in play. So that may be one of our 3D lanes highlights of the day here.
Early contender for the Urban Greys player of the day would have to be Emily Rod. She's been good in that defensive part of her game.
Yeah, just hands over pressure everywhere, and we've probably got a couple of contenders. I think with such a close game that most positions are matching up really well, and we've got a little bit of time here. We've got someone's child on the court, so we'll just hold time.
Not Ollie
Harris, is it? No, not Oliver Harris. He'd be getting a bit of a look there. He'd be getting my teacher look, I think.
I think Ray's tone would be a little bit different if Ollie was wandering on the court.
No, he's with my parents at the minute, so it'd be interesting.
You're getting
if it was
spoiled.
him on the, I'll be wondering what would be happening if he was on the court. And Sky Hillier taking another great goal then. So the Albury Tigers now, I think, to a 3-goal lead, 4 goals, 19 goals to Lavington's 15 here in our second quarter action, thanks to Urban Greys.
We've got about a minute and a half to go in this quarter, and the Tigers have really bounced back.
And a great little pass there from Rod, just knowing where Ferbra is and predicting the movement. And again, it's just that patience from the Tigers. You know, they're just moving it around and finding where they're comfortable. And I think that's why they look so comfortable in this game, is they're allowing each other to just find their groove.
Yep, and I think I think coming into this third quarter, I think we might see Maddie Lloyd and Ange DeManuel, that change come again.
Yeah.
And I think Maddie Lloyd provided perhaps a little bit more drive to the circle edge, and it likewise, Ange DeManuel provided a little bit more drive through the mid-court, bringing it from defence to attack. So I expect to possibly see that change, and whether or not we see Emily Stewart come into goal shooter and create that moving circle, which we've spoken about, to try and combat this positive, really positive start to this first half by the Tigers, who Sky Hillier with a chance to bring them another goal in front, but she opts to pass off to Alison Miani, who capitalises. So that brings the Albury Tigers girls to 21 on the Cavalier home scoreboard, and we have about 30 seconds to play here with the Jacob Toyota used car.
So Lloyd just moving it around with her shooters. Plunkett under the hoop. An unfortunate miss though, and straight into the hands of Albury as we sign off for half time.
And nice timing there for the halftime siren to go. So second half here, we've got Albury leading the Lavington Panthers. They are leading 21-15. So a nice turnaround for them. So they'll be really happy with that.
Very good. So it's O&M Live netball action. We're doing it for McRae Motors here at half-time. 21-16, Tigers lead. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll review the first half for McRae Motors.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere, and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between. Manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
Okay, welcome back to the third quarter action. Here's from Martin's Travel Group in Albury. And we're about to start the second half here. And it's the Albury Tigers 21. They lead Lavington 16. Here's Hannah Davies.
So who would have thought the Albury Tigers would come out as firing as they are today? A cracking start for them in this first half.
And a credit to them, we spoke about in that first quarter that traditionally in this game, in this season, they have made quite a lot of changes, but they've opted to stay with their set 7 coming into this third quarter. Lavington pretty much changes all over the court. So in the shooting end, Emily Stewart's been entered into the game into that goal attack position. We've seen the switch come again with Maddie Lloyd and Ange DeMamiel through centre and wing attack. So Ange is back into that centre position. A miss there from Maddie Plunkett and Maddie Lloyd back into that wing attack role. As we see Maddie Plunkett having a second opportunity here with a contact on the ball there. So a turnover of centre to start the third quarter is always positive. Lavington taking their centre pass in the hands of Ange DeMamiel and Emily Stewart. And just down in the defence end for the Lavington Panthers, Maggie Thompson re-entering the court on as goal defence. Taylor Furborough switching out into wing defence. And Sarah Meredith making a comeback to the A-grade netball court here for the Panthers in goalkeeper. So she had a little boy, Jimmy, in the off-season. She played last week in B-grade, a quarter or 2 in B-grade today, and she's here again. So just a bit of a change-up looking to combat the strong second quarter from the Tigers, which great start from the Panthers. They've scored the first 2 goals and upped their defensive pressure.
And interesting to take Grace Hay off as well. I'm not sure if that's a bit of a load management. We know she plays a lot of sport in the week. I thought she'd been really strong for Lavington today, actually keeping them within this scoreboard.
Oh, and that was a interesting shot there from Alison Miani. It wasn't really a pass. It wasn't really a shot. So I think maybe a defender touch over the ball, which is great, but she'll be really disappointed with that because they're those little 1%ers that we don't like to give away. So the Panthers girls doing a really great job then to transition the ball, but Sarah Jones positioning her body so well then on Maddie Plunkett, not giving her an inch, and able as well to get the hand on that floating ball in above the ring.
And I think Sarah Jones has got to be a contender for the Urban Greys Player of the Day. She's just been a workhorse today. You know, we don't say her name as much as maybe a Sarah Mellington, who's really up and about and vocal, but the way that she's been working against Plunkett, who's such a strong figure under the post, and she's shaken her a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's just always there. She's just one of those players that just grinds out a game and does all the little things really well and really pressures that ball. So credit to her, and we expect to see that continue for the rest of this quarter as we've got Maggie Thompson out of play there for a contact on the top of the circle. So Kristen Andrews getting a nice feed into Sky Hillier, who under the post netting another goal for the Albury Tigers. So the third quarter scoreboard action, thanks to Indigo Power, sees Albury Tigers with a 4-goal lead here, 22 goals to 18.
And a breaking from Emily Stewart there. She'll be kicking herself over that one because it gives Albury Tigers another crack at the scoreboard. They're leading and they'll want to push this out to 5.
And again, not afraid to use their transverse line. And when we talk about that, we're talking about shooting it back out to their wing defence and goal defence, just to give themselves an extra second to set up and giving themselves a little bit of extra space. We spoke about that they're probably a shorter attacking line, so they're probably looking just for that extra pass to create that space so that they can come onto the ball so they're not going over hands all the time. As we see Sky Hillier, a great mid-range shot from her. A 5-goal lead now to the Albury Tigers, and the centre is in their possession as well. So third quarter action here thanks to Martin's Travel Group Albury.
3.5 minutes gone on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. The Tigers are increasing that half-time lead.
Oh, nice try there from Sarah Meredith. She came out just half a second too late, so forced the contact, but that'll be something that the Albury Tigers girls will have to look out for because she does time, very much like Grace Hay, she times that ball coming in beautifully.
Margin out to 6, Tigers lead it.
Good patience there from Lloyd. Goes to Stewart. And a miss from Stewart. She's been incredibly accurate so far this season, but whatever it is today, I don't know, election nerves.
Maybe, but really nice that Maddie Plunkett was able to pull that ball in under the ring and get another one back there for the Panthers girls. So Taylor Furborough with a hand and those long arms in over everything. So a real height mismatch there between Taylor Furborough and Kristen Andrews, which maybe Panthers opted for that defensive line to really muddle up the height between players. So Miani there looked like it might have gone straight over the ring, but it just hit that back ring, dropped in for a 6-goal lead here to the Albury Tigers, thanks to Indigo Power.
Third quarter action for Martin's Travel Group Albury.
So Lloyd goes to Plunkett, again out to Lloyd. Neither shooter really driving forward. Plunkett's kind of driving on the side, and there's the call.
And that defensive pressure from the Tigers girls really opted for that. I think Maddie Plunkett found herself a little bit too far out of the circle and then struggled to find her way back in because of that defensive pressure from Sarah Jones. So forced the Tigers girls to keep their hands up over the ball, and the Panthers hold
a falcon.
That ball for 1 second too long. So do we call that a 3D Lanes highlight of the day?
Yes. I'll sort that out later, but that was
highlight or
mate
lowlight?
Emily Rodd just got a bit fierce with the pass.
And I think that might have had a bit of pepper on it too. Alison Miani clutching her nose there.
Reid, does that add new context to the look away pass?
Yeah. Look, we had a few laughs here playing at Panthers. Maddie Lloyd has been on the end of quite a few. Really great Falcons over her time. Between her and Ainsley O'Connell, who's not here anymore, she's living up in Queensland now.
Oh, we can speak about her then.
Between the two of them, both between games and training, I reckon they had one a week when they were playing together, and it used to be kind of the highlight. So, yeah, the Tigers girls, though, really great transition back down the court into Alison Miani, who's really taken a nice deep breath and was able to cement that goal, bring them out to 7 goals.
And a really beautiful rebound position from her as well. I think that's another thing that's setting them apart from the Lavington shooters, is that Miani was just perfectly on the other side of that hoop. So she had half covered and Hillier had the other half covered. Fortunately, there were turnovers for them, so Lavington.
And a great, one of their better transitions too. Although they were close to the sideline, it only took them 3 passes to get from their goal circle down to their attacking third, which is what we want to see. They've managed to push that ball into the goal circle in the hands of Maddie Plunkett with a lovely mid-range shot from her, bringing 1 goal back for them. So Albury leading 26 goals to 20. I think, here in third quarter action, thanks to Martin's Travel Group Albury.
The scoreboard attendee is a little bit confused again. We'll get the score back up as soon as possible, though, for Indigo Power. And Plunkett secures another one. So Lavington just chipping away at the scoreline. Still trailing, but not by too many that they're not within this game.
Well,
26-21, we think's the official score.
I think that's right. I think the problem was that they were trying to change it from 19 to 20 and they're metal, so they get stuck. If there's any moisture between them, they get stuck together. But what I liked with the attacking play of the Lavington Panthers just before, Ange Manuel just put a little bit of extra height on the ball for Maddie Plunkett to get it out of the hands of anywhere. And we see her take another really nice goal here. So them stepping forward into that margin, which is now down to 4. So Lavington 22, Albury Tigers leading 26.
And you can hear the crowd now at Lavington. It's the 8th player on court for them today. If they're going to push it back here, can they use that crowd support behind them? Beautiful pass there from Stewart to Plunkett, and an even better finish.
And that was a really nice one-handed take from her. We always say that 2 hands is really important, but really strong, really balanced, and obviously an asset to her game, that strength and balance.
3-goal lead to Tigers. That's on the Indigo Power scoreboard. And this quarter action is for Martin's Travel Group in Albury.
And something probably that the Panthers the Tigers girls are doing a little bit differently to the Lavington Panthers is that they're doing a little bit more bounce passing. They're trying to keep the ball out of the air and putting it to the ground, but a held ball there on the shot from Sky Hillier. So interesting, the umpire deemed that she'd taken her 3 seconds, which is credit to the defensive pressure by Sarah Meredith and Maggie Thompson over the ring. So she'll be looking to release that ball now half a second earlier to make sure that all her goals really matter.
But we've seen the same turnover here with the stepping call from Emily Stewart. So the Tigers will take the free pass just next to the hoop here. And they move it over to Andrews, who can't keep the ball in. Both umpires making a call. This umpire's calling stepping.
I think, footwork first and then the ball trickled out. So it'll go with our Sarah Mabry at this end because it is in her playing half. And Emily Stewart capitalising there. So
I thought it was a new dance move, the way Sarah Mabry, the umpire, was moving around there. Like something you'd see down at the Z bar with you, Bree. Hannah.
It's not somewhere I've been for a long time, Robbie. And great pressure there from the Panthers girls. Timing, by the Tigers girls, really timing that defensive effort for the pass from Stewart. But we talk about look-away passes, and there's one. She looked to the top of the circle, and we are now, thanks to that goal, back to a one-game ball game. So the Tigers here leading 26 goals to 25 for the Indigo Power scoreboard.
Third quarter action. It's for Martin's Travel Group. Here's Hannah Davies.
The Tigers need to switch on now, and that's exactly what they need to put a little bit more confidence into their pocket. So Alison Miani, a beautiful shot under the post.
And well done for Emily Rodd to really see that Alison Miani was alone, home alone. Both defenders drawn then by Sky Hillier to the ball. So a really strong play there from the Tigers girls. And Emily Stewart there being called for coming in off court or contact. So the Panthers, another opportunity to have kind of brought back that buffer, but Tigers here have the opportunity to again extend it. We spoke, Robbie, in the pre-game that the third quarter is this championship quarter.
Yeah.
So I think what the Tigers girls will really need to do for the remainder of this quarter is to really capitalise on any ball that they have and treasure possession. We've got about 4 minutes left to play, and they'd want to be having a little bit of scoreboard gap there, which is back out to 3 and a centre pass for the Tigers girls to come. So I would think they'd want to bring it out to 5 or 6 going into this fourth quarter.
Set up for a great finish here.
So, Rhea, if the Tigers can take this game over Lavington today, is this probably the biggest upset of the season so far?
I would think so. This and North Albury being Wang Magpies, because I think Lavington have really cemented themselves so far this year as what a powerhouse to be contended with. They started off as the dark horse. Now we're calling them the powerhouse, and to be overthrown by someone would be great. But we've still got a lot of netball to be played here as we see the Tigers. They really gave an easy ball away there. It trickled over the edge. So the Panthers girls now with the opportunity to pinch one back. Emily Stewart here with the penalty pass about midway between the post and the circle edge, and
just goes over.
And Maddie Plunkett, really great attempt then to keep the ball in, but it's been, I think her foot might have been on just over the line. So Tigers here with the ball, looking to transition from defence to attack, which they do in the hands of Heidi Fisher and Sarah Mellington, working well together to keep these Tigers girls really defending to attack.
And great work from Heidi Fisher as well. We haven't mentioned her as much today, but she's forced Lloyd into centre, and Lloyd's one of the best players in the court right now, and I think she's arguably dominating that matchup.
And a clever rebound there from Maggie Thompson, just over the reach of Sky Hillier. She managed to tap it out of Sky Hillier's reach and over her own head. So Sarah Meredith to Maggie Thompson, now to Maddie Lloyd, who's looking to transition this ball. Emily Stewart taking the ball off the ring, but giving a nice feed in there to Maddie Plunkett, who in her probably most comfortable shooting position right under the court. So 2-goal ball game here to the Albury Tigers, 28-26, but we see Lavington with their centre pass.
There's about 2 minutes to go on the Jacob Turner used cars time clock. And Lavington looking to use this last 2 minutes to push themselves back into the game, but that won't help them.
There's Maddie. Maddie, say good day. Good on you, Mads.
And I think maybe
that's live action, that, Ree.
a footwork call just on the outside. So Lavington really won't be happy with that, particularly in the area of the court that they were in. But commentators curse. Sarah Mellington spilling quite an easy pass right in the same position. So we've got about a minute left on the Jacob Toyota used car score time clock here.
Hey, guys, you think we'll see Grace Hay and Steph Clancy return for the final quarter?
I think they need Grace Hay back on the court. It'll be interesting to see. They've played her in wing defence as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they rotate that defensive end. But I think, yeah, she's been dominating for them. So whether or not it's just a little bit of a rest for her, bring her on fresh for quarter 4.
And I definitely agree with moving her to wing defence 3. I think the Lavington defenders are actually keeping them in this. I think, if anything, surprisingly, it's probably been their attackers that are a little bit off today. But, you know, Sarah Meredith has come onto the court really well, and Maggie Thompson in goal defence is also doing a great job. So, but you've got the arms of Taylor Ferber, so
yeah,
it's a hard call to make.
Yep, and about 40 seconds here to go in this third quarter. We've got a 1-goal lead to the Albury Tigers, but Lavington Panthers in possession. So the time is running down. The Panthers girls really looking to utilise what time is left in this quarter, and Sarah Mellington out of play there. Contact just off the ball, and Maddie Plunkett sinking a goal there. So we've got level scores here. 28 goals plays, 28 goals, and about maybe 15, maybe 10 seconds left in this third quarter action thanks to Indigo Power. Can the Panthers net one more goal? Not quite. So an even ball game. We talk about this third quarter championship quarter. Will we see Lavington be able to push it out fourth quarter, or Tigers just being able to keep it level? Is that enough for them to just push and get a quick lead going into the fourth quarter action?
Well, let's find out when we come back for the final quarter action here at the Lavington Sports Ground. 28 all on O&M Live Netball. We'll be back with you shortly.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Okay, welcome back to the Lavington Sports Ground. It is three-quarter time. We're about to start the final quarter, and we have got an absolute beauty here. It is 28-all between the Tigers and the Panthers. And, well, we thought it was going to be close. We didn't think it would be this close. And if the Tigers were to get up here, this keeps their finals hopes well and truly alive. And for now, to start the finals quarter action, here's Hannah Davies.
So the Albury Tigers have the potential to make this the biggest upset of the season. They've played a really good 3 quarters so far. No changes for them again. Great decision by captain coach Sky Hillier. So can this 7 be the 7 to do the job for them today?
Yeah, time will tell. About 14 and a half minutes, we will see. But credit to both teams sticking with the 7 that were on in the third quarter. For the Panthers, that decreased that 5-6 goal margin that was at halftime back to within even. So Linda Robinson trusting in her players that got them this far to keep them there, because we said interesting if Grace Hay would retake the court or not. So she's opted to keep them. But Maddie Plunkett passing the ball into Emily Stewart, and that was half a second there. It could have gone either way, and a miss from her and a great defensive rebound effort there from Sarah Jones. And we've spoken about her a little bit today. She's just been a real workhorse. She's really grounded this defensive end, and she's just been at the grind all day, just working, work rate. And Heidi Fisher as well, as we see her bring the ball down the court. Emily Rodd here with the ball on the circle edge. A nice little pass there to Sky Hillier, looking to get that little bit closer to the court, out of the hands and feet of Maggie Thompson. So she'll get another look at this goal here for an obstruction call by Sarah Meredith, who's standing out of play. And a great goal there from Sky Hillier. So off their starting centre pass, we've got a 2-goal lead here to the Albury Tigers. Fourth quarter action brought to you by the Insight Injury Clinic.
Sarah Jones, an Urban Greys Player of the Day contender. Hannah?
Oh, absolutely. She's been great. The whole Albury defence end really have just kept them in this game. You can see Heidi Fisher there just getting a hand on it. It's the last quarter, and you can just tell how much Albury want this.
And I think the matchup we spoke about pre-game between Maddie Lloyd and Heidi Fishers has been imperative. And I think Heidi's kept Maddie Lloyd's drive quite quiet. We saw the change in her to go to centre and back into wing attack. And I think she's been more dominant in wing attack. However, I think Heidi's managed to keep her quite quiet, and she hasn't been able to find the circle edge as consistently as perhaps she might against some other teams. But a great defensive effort there from Maggie Thompson, getting just a touch on the ball, but she's now out of play. So Kristen Andrews, a little mistake there coming at the hands of Sarah Meredith, a very seasoned campaigner here for the Lavington Panthers. So the Panthers girls now on the attack, bringing the ball back, utilising their defenders on the mid-transverse line. And Maddie Plunkett looking a little bit not so confident there to turn and shoot.
So Maddie Stewart passes over to Plunkett and secures the goal. So we've played just about 3 minutes on the Jacob Turner Used Cars time clock, and Albury lead by just 1 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. So Maddie Lloyd looks a little stuck. She'll go back to Ferbra, just on that transverse line.
And very close to 3 seconds then. So good from Maddie Lloyd to recognise that the time was up. And credit to the Tigers girls. Again, they've put that real pressure on, and Maddie Plunkett just giving away a contact ball there, call there, pushing off her player from behind. And that double teaming has been really instrumental by these defenders. And again, we see another defensive effort. Taylor Ferbra, she's come alive in this fourth quarter, maybe a contender for our Urban Greys Player of the Day.
So it's a 1-goal lead to the Tigers. 3.5 minutes gone, final quarter.
So the Panthers setting up the penalty pass here. And Stewart goes over to Plunkett. And a beautiful, sorry, a miss there. I spoke too soon. But there she goes, Plunkett. So even again on the X-Ray Group scoreboard, 30-all. We've played just over 4 minutes on the Jacob Turner Used Cars time clock.
It'll be interesting. This fourth quarter could go down to fitness as well. Like, it's quite warm today.
Yep.
The breeze has died down. Full sun, and we see, I don't know if there was a little push in the back there or a trip. I don't know, but the Tigers girls unable to capitalise, and Emily Rodd here a contact call, I think, off the ball. So the Tigers girls won't be really happy with that, particularly well into their attacking third. But the Panthers go on the attack again, and a contact call down the other end by Heidi Fisher. So the Panthers girls pushing the ball further down into deeper into their attacking third, and the ball goes from Maddie Lloyd into Emily Stewart, who nets a really nice mid-range goal. So Lavington Panthers with a 1-goal lead here, thanks to the X-Ray Group scoreboard and their centre pass to come. Clever defence then from Sarah Jones. She knew she wasn't going to get full hands on the ball, but really tried to tap the ball out, and we've got Maddie Plunkett out probably a little bit further than she'd like to shoot from.
And it'll be up to her to decide whether she wants to bring it in or if she's feeling confident. I think with a 1-goal lead, you'd probably just want to push it in right onto the post, as they do right there. A really smart decision from the Lavington shooters, which pushes Lavington up to a 2-goal lead, 32-30 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
And again, the crowd has come alive here, and I don't know, a breaking call must have been on the transverse line then by Emily Rodd. So a coach killer, those ones, particularly with such a close ball game. So the Lavington Panthers looking to bring this margin out to 3, but Maddie Plunkett, well done by her. She was very close to bringing that ball in. I thought she was very close, flirting with that baseline. So the Tigers girls will need to have a really smooth and clear transition here. Heidi Fisher has been instrumental all day in a footwork call. So
I had a feeling when she took that ball with such confidence.
Didn't look right, did it?
No. Yeah, look, the umpire's looking for whether it's intentional, and I think when you take it with as much coordination as Fisher does, clearly she's an amazing athlete and very fit. So
guilty of her own ability.
Yeah, anything she touches looks, I think, intentional.
Yeah.
And another really nice feed there from Ange DeMamuel, but Maddie Plunkett unable to sink that one, but has gained her own rebound, given herself another shot, and she nets that one. So the Lavington Panthers pushing their lead out to 3 goals here, 33-30, with their own centre pass to come in the hands of Ange DeMamuel, who gives it to Emily Stewart, who's been a lot quieter this game than the last time we saw them, but credit to her, she's come back on the court and probably just played her role and done enough to keep the Panthers girls rolling. Obviously, they've got a little bit of a lead now, but the Tigers girls forcing the turnover there and now transitioning the ball down into their shooting third. Couple of contacts here. Ange DeMamuel just at the top of the Albury Tigers attacking third. Emily Rodd getting nice and close to that centre, that circle edge, sorry.
And a contact call there against Thompson. So Hillier takes the ball. Long range in the circle, Miani's there.
And a well-timed pass there. She probably knew that Sarah Meredith would come out for that.
Gee, I reckon Sarah Meredith's made a big difference coming on too.
Yep.
She's been fantastic.
Confidence, calm, and she just always presents when needed. So she's got phenomenal timing. It'll be interesting to see how she pulls up today after a couple of quarters in A grade and a couple of quarters in B grade. But credit to her. We've spoken a lot this season about mums coming back to play, and Sky Hillier is one of those as well. So if the Tigers can get this, that'll be a really big positive for her. But on saying that, another goal missed there. So the Panthers girls with this defensive opportunity from their baseline in the hands now of Ange DeMamuel to Maggie Thompson. And we've got about 7 minutes here to play in the 4th quarter, thanks to the Jacob Toyer used cars time clock.
Yes, 4th quarter action. We're doing for Inside Injury Clinic, and it is a 2-goal lead to Lavington at the moment over the Tigers. And guys, I think our Urban Greys player of the day is going to come from a defender. The defence here today has been outstanding.
And I think the defence of both teams has kept both teams really in contention for whoever wins. So, yeah, it will be interesting. What happens if we have a draw? Do they do a rock-off between some of the defenders? We'll have to see. But
I'll have to have a look at our budget.
I think the defensive units as a whole, we're talking goalkeeper, goal defence, wing defence, and whoever's in that centre role.
I think our budget's getting blown to bits in Brisbane at the moment.
And the Tigers will be kicking themselves. They can't afford to give away such an easy pass then, but karma there from the umpire maybe. We've got a held ball, so those ones sometimes happen after a little bit of... And the the crowd's gone a little bit quieter too. So 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes to play, and Alison Miani bringing the Albury Tigers girls back within one. So the Lavington Panthers leading 33-32 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard, and a wayward pass there from their own centre pass gives the Tigers the opportunity to bring this ball down to get within even. Can they do it? We've got just over 5 minutes to play here, thanks to Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Kristen Andrews with the ball at the top of the circle into Sky Hillier, who steps forward to bring herself closer. And
I held my breath there.
Scores a level.
I did, and Tigers centre to come. So ball in the hands of Sky Hillier from Kristen Andrews. A nice double play and a second double play there. Looking to get the ball. What the Tigers girls have done really well all day is to try and feed from the circle edge to give themselves as less space as possible between defenders' arms. But an offside call there at the top of the circle. So Tigers having to defend again. Panthers on the attack, bringing that ball down through their mid-court, through the centre channel to the top of the circle. Couple of touches on the ball, but Kristen Andrews, she's just unbalanced and ended up with her hands in the circle. So unlucky, because Sarah Jones got a great tip on the ball there. And again, front position and a little contact call from Heidi Fisher. Pressured ball there from Sarah Jones into Maddie Plunkett, who finishes with a nice goal. So Lavington now leading 34-33 here, thanks to the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
So we've got about 4 minutes left on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. It's an incredibly even game on our hands.
And I think the other week when we had the draw between North Albury and Raiders, North Albury were 5 up with about 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah,
so
last 4 goals or something.
That is how quickly a game of netball can change as well. So there's still plenty of action left in this, and we've got just under 4 minutes left to play. The ball is with Tony Wilson medalist Maddie Lloyd, who connects to Maddie Plunkett, who nets another goal. So a 2-goal lead here to the Lavington Panthers in this fourth quarter action, thanks to the Insight Injury Clinic.
3.5 minutes to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. Lavington lead by 2. Here's Hannah Davies.
So Rod just keeps that ball in. Incredible athleticism from her. But an
big
offside
turnover
again. Albury will be kicking themselves for that. There's only about 3 minutes to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
And by the looks of the Albury Tigers' faces then, they're a little bit confused as to who was actually offside. So anyway, they can take that one up. We'll leave that one up to the umpires. I actually didn't see it. But the Tigers girls with the ball in possession here, just on their transverse line of their defensive third. So Kristen Andrews and Ange DeManuel, that's been a really hotly contested matchup this quarter. They've both seemed to really bring the intensity and looking to get their team in the lead. And Kristen Andrews, the long arms of Taylor Ferbra not being too much of an issue. She's holding her body strong, feeding the ball nicely then into Sky Hillier, who opts to pass it back to her, and another little contact call there on the side.
Lavy lead by 2.
Andrews not loving that bit of a hug from Ferbra there.
And Sky Hillier, clever placement of the ball then to get the 2 hands on it. But Sarah Meredith, she's come in on this second half and made a real impact, grabbing another beautiful rebound, 2 hands, and off to her defensive partner in Thompson there. The Panthers girls transitioning this ball from defence to attack, but the ball way too big for Plunkett. So Sarah Jones now with the throw in about halfway along the baseline. We've
under
got about
2 minutes free left on the time clock, Jacob Toyota time clock.
So the Tigers here will be looking to really transition this ball smoothly but quickly to give themselves some time on their side to really decrease this deficit.
And definitely they'll want patience here. They don't need any more unforced errors, no offsides, held balls.
Great drive there from Emily Rod. She cleared the space, got out of Ferbra, made sure she was out of Ferbra's way, and the ball came to her. Now with Sky Hillier, who opts to step in, and clever by Maggie Thompson. She got her 3 feet and then put her arms up. So Sky Hillier had already shortened that distance. And
chance to get the margin back to 1.
And another great hold there from Maggie Thompson, but an obstruction call. So Sky Hillier with the ball here just under the ring.
Minute left free.
And a great touch by Sarah Meredith. They are some of her bread and butter, getting that little touch on the shooter as they go. So we've got a 1-goal ball game here with the Panthers centre to come. They lead 35-34. We think less than a minute to go, and you can hear the crowd. I'm wondering how that's being picked up on the ambience mic. But Panthers opting to pass it around. They've got the time on their side here. So Tigers will want just a really quick turnover. There's plenty of space on that baseline. Plunkett with the ball, and Heidi Fisher causing the ball to spill over the baseline, but an offside call.
20 seconds perhaps left.
Emily Stewart with the ball at about the 2 o'clock time on that circle edge. Quick 1-2 to cousin Ange DeMamiel, and opts to put the shot up. Plunkett.
Last roll of dice.
Get it in. So Tigers will want to get it down to their goal circle as quickly as possible in the hands of Sarah Jones.
There it is.
There we have it, a 1-goal win to the Lavington Panthers, 35 to the Albury Tigers, 34.
There you go. Fantastic finish there to the game. The Panthers prevailing by just the one. It was 28 all at three-quarter time. It finishes at 35-34. The Tigers prevail by 1 goal. Hannah Davies, what a game. And continues these close matches that we've had on O&M Live Netball.
I know. None of us were expecting Lavington and Albury to come out as close as they did today. I don't think Albury were even expecting to be as close. And a 1-goal game is pretty devastating for them. But I think for the Tigers, it just shows how much they've come from round 1. You know, I think they were the first team that we commentated. And for them to find a 7 that can put it at a really good 60 minutes and can take it to the Lavington Panthers to 1 goal, it just says so much about how far they've come. But here is Maggie Thompson, our Urban Greys player of the day. She played a full 60 minutes, and what an incredible game she did. Maggie, congratulations on your game and the 1-goal win. How are you feeling right now?
Great. That was winning by a goal is the best and worst feeling. I feel like we probably should have put our what's this?
This is
Sorry. Sorry, I'm still catching my breath. We probably didn't play our best game, but in the end, we sort of dug our heels in, and even though it wasn't pretty, we got there in the end, so it's great.
And what did Linda Robinson have to say at three-quarter time, given that it was even playing field? What were her words of wisdom going on to that fourth quarter?
For the first time this season, I have seen Linda actually get up and, she gets up and about, but proper get up and about, and she just told us that we need to play our game and just practice what we've been training, and just we know what we need to do, kind of thing. And I guess we wasn't pretty, but we got there.
And it's probably the closest game you've had so far this season.
Absolutely.
What do you put down the 1-goal win to?
I think I know a few of us have been off a bit. Like, I had COVID last week, so I'm sort of coming back from and feeling pretty lousy. It actually takes a lot out of you, which I didn't think. And other than that, I think we're still, even though we're doing quite well this season, we're still finding our groove, and we've got some new players in the team, and so we're just still learning each other's, how we play and whatnot. So it's, I think it's just getting used to one another.
And from our perspective, it seemed like a really defensive game out there today. Like we were talking about.
It felt like that.
Two real defensive ends, which we've spoken a little bit about Emily Stewart and Maddie Plunkett being really firing, but it's probably one of Emily Stewart's quieter games. Do you think that she's been a really great impact player for you guys?
She has. Em's been awesome. We've been so lucky to get her in our team, and she might have had a quieter game today, but I'm sure next week she'll be back firing, ready to go.
Absolutely. Well, you were a star today, particularly in that second half and that last quarter. Your hands over pressure.
Thank you.
Really caused a few turnovers and a little bit of grief for the Tigers girls. So Maggie Thompson, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Gray's player of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. Well, Ree, what a cracking game we just witnessed. Who would have expected a 1-goal win by the Panthers?
I did say I thought the Tigers girls, if anything, that today was the day, and I think they will be absolutely kicking themselves that they didn't quite get across the line. But I think for them, what will be the real positive is that they've finally put together 4 really consistent quarters with a core 7. They haven't made any changes. They were really happy to keep that 7 alive. But credit to the Panthers girls. They were, 8-1 down in that first quarter. There was a little bit of a margin at halftime, back to even in that third quarter. And just to have the grit and determination to fight out cleverly in those last dying seconds, they just played the ball around, tried to keep it out of the Tigers' possession, which is cleverly coached as well.
All right there. Well, Hannah, thank you very much today. Great call again, Ree. And as you said, a one-game thriller. The Panthers prevailed on them. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you guys on O&M Live Netball. Thank you to McRae Motors for their fantastic support, and we look forward to another close one next week. Thanks, Ree.
Well,
thanks, Hannah.
We get a rest next week.
Oh, we do too. Interleague, yes, of course.
So
yes.
in a fortnight, so it'll be nice to have a rest. But good luck to those people playing Interleague. I think our Ovens and Murray team will be very, very formidable. And I actually got to see Shepparton United play against Benalla last weekend, which has their league medalist in it. And so I think a few faces out of there. So I think it'll be quite a tough game, but I'm going to tip the O&M girls to get over the line.
Go the black and gold.
Yeah,
of course you will. All right, there we go. Well, that's it today. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Ree. I'm Robbie McKinlay, and for now it is goodbye, and a big thank you again to McRae Motors for the support to bring all the O&M Live netball action to you. We'll catch you in a fortnight.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.